Welcome back to SatoshiConomy, Bitcoin, and peer-to-peer financial empowerment. Hashtag love all, serve others. Hi, my name's Ron. I'm a Bitcoin evangelist, a sovereign pleb, and a true wealth and health autodidact. We're going live today here. I just want to talk about some Bitcoin water cooler talking points. What do these people have in common? I'm going to start naming some people off, and a lot of you, most of you will know what they have in common right away, but what I mean is besides the absolutely obvious. What do these people have in common? Russell Okung, Shaquan Barkley, Sean Culkin, Gronk, Tom Brady, Trevor Lawrence, and now Aaron Rodgers. And it's Bitcoin. Uh, Kudos out to Russell Okung because he was, I believe, the first one who was in the NFL who was able to get paid in Bitcoin. The NFL didn't pay him in Bitcoin. They actually went through. Russell had them pay. He was able to go through the Strike app, which is phenomenal, and it was paid to that app via the. Well, any of us in America can have this done. We can have it paid through the Strike app through the checking account number and the routing number. And then you can even decide how much of your check you can have it paid in Bitcoin or 100% all the way to zero. But anyway, so Russell Okung, I guess, worked on this for over a year. And I think it was in December or right about there where he tweeted, paid in Bitcoin. And he had half of his salary. It amounts to about 6.5 billion in Bitcoin was paid in Bitcoin. And since then, I'm guesstimating that from the time he was paid 6.5 billion, assuming he held on to all of that, that today or at Bitcoin's all-time high, that would be about 13. I thought I wrote it down here, but that would be about 13.5 billion. The 6.5 has gone to even more than that, actually. But so other talking points as far as things we can talk about at the water cooler are this is just one day's news on at Blockworks. It's a Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto related news source. But they said that the Miami mayor is going to take his whole check in Bitcoin. And this is huge because it involves someone from the government. So, wow. They just had in Miami a Bitcoin conference, and they are just way ahead of a lot of municipalities as far as getting on board as a hub, a crypto hub. Microsoft announced that they're going to launch their own metaverse. Singapore said they want to be a crypto hub. And again, this is all just in one day's news. Singapore also, I saw an article or announcement by them. This was like 4 or 5 months ago. Singapore is a sovereign country. So they have a sovereign wealth fund, and it's called Temasek Holdings, and it amounts to, I think they've got in there $425 billion. And I'm not saying that all of that they have in Bitcoin, but they bought some Bitcoin. So this is some serious money here. So let's see. Singapore announced that they bought over 51% of an exchange. The name of the exchange is BitCub, and they have Siam Commercial Bank, I think, is involved in that story. Australia announced that they have the largest. Their largest bank is now offering Bitcoin services. Nike just announced 2 metaverse job openings. DCG, which stands for Digital Currency Group, they are the parent company for what's known as Grayscale. Grayscale themselves is just the 800-pound gorilla. They have, at latest count from the information I saw, they have 654,000 Bitcoin, and that amounts to around 3% of all the possible Bitcoin that will ever be. So that is absolutely huge. But the Digital Currency Group, the founder or the CEO of that is Barry Silver. They have a um, grayscale Bitcoin trust, and also just a talking point for MicroStrategy. They have about 117,000 Bitcoin, and so that is valued at about 7.5 billion right now, according to Bitcoin's all-time high. I was going to say about Digital Currency Group, just their Bitcoin holdings at Bitcoin's all-time high had a valuation of about they're closing in on just $50 billion worth of just Bitcoin. Let's see. McDonald's announced they're gonna go into get their own NFT. Burger King announced, I think what they said is they're gonna give away over 2.6 million in crypto giveaway. Aaron Rodgers announced that he's getting paid in Bitcoin. Let's see, the Bitcoin or the crypto app Crypto.com got became the number one most. It reached number one on Google Store. There are also, this isn't today's news, but there are also four. In some of the research I was doing, there are also four. What do they call sovereign wealth funds or funds owned by countries that own Bitcoin? Bulgaria, Ukraine, El Salvador, and Georgia. And the aforementioned Singapore, I'm not sure why it wasn't on that list that I looked at, but they have, as well as other corporations like Tesla, Square, Coinbase. You can go to a really cool site. It's called BitcoinTreasuries.net, and on there they list all of the corporate treasuries that publicly announced that they hold Bitcoin. And Square is owned by Jack Dorsey, who owns Twitter. Twitter, I just, as I say that, they incorporated the feature of being able to tip in Bitcoin on their social media. Tesla bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and according to Bitcoin's all-time high, it looks like they almost doubled. Yeah, they at 1.5 billion at the day that they bought it, it's almost doubled since then. So they've made a lot of profit, and they didn't even have to sneeze. Coinbase is valued. Well, they went with the an IPO, initial public offering, recently, and they had a pretty good launch there in the public arena. I'm not sure what they're valued at. I'm going to guess before the IPO. I think. Yeah, I can't. I'm not even going to say because I don't really know. But just some of the talking points about Bitcoin and the crypto industry. So if you run into somebody who just says, if you ask them, hey, are you interested or do you have any Bitcoin? And they say something like, oh, heck no. Then, yikes, you can clue them in on some of the big names that are really at the cutting edge and past the cutting edge. I think globally we're looking at, no one really knows. There's no way to really tell for sure, but I think we're at the point in the adoption curve where the adoption rate is going to begin to accelerate. Different research reports, one by Crypto.com, which I really didn't like the depth of the data that they had behind it, but they were estimating that there are 140 million individual Bitcoin accounts. I think it's probably more like 100 million. It's probably up more than that now, but the consensus seems to be just in crypto in general that looks like 140 million individual people in the world have crypto in some way, shape, or form. So, from what I can remember, is that, from the research I was doing there, that puts the global adoption, according to the global population, at about between 1% and 2%. And when we look at classic bell curve, and data from other historical, network adoption, um, that once it gets to about 1 or 2% right in there, then the rate of adoption begins to accelerate. That's what I alluded to a little bit earlier. But hashtag love all, serve others. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. I wish you health. And until next time, peace. Again, I don't know how to shut this off. Sorry, guys.